right, so I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about the possible future of warfare.
I know where you're going.
All right then.
Assuming that the future battlefield isn't just all tactical nukes. So Elon posted a thing just the other day, is the new Tesla bot. Should I play this? We don't need the sound particularly. But so first thing to say is...
Bloody hell.
Let's get rid of that sound. First thing to say is that it's sort of interesting, remarkable how far quickly technology is coming along. Some people saying this is CGI, because I think a few years ago...
He's shucking and jiving, look at him.
Pretty cool, actually.
It's remarkable.
A bit scary, though.
Well, yeah.
Imagine it's going to be like a Fortnite lobby where he's going to, after you've been murdered, after he's shot you to death, he's going to do his little Fortnite dance for you.
Teabagging your corpse and doing a Fortnite dance over your corpse. Someone on Twitter said, just imagine a Tesla bot teabagging human corpses forever. That's the thing. No, so the first thing some people said, because I think maybe Tesla did this before a few years ago, they put out something similar and it was actually CGI, but this isn't CGI apparently. But anyway, we've come on a fair way from those robots sort of just about walking along in that unsteady way that can actually kind of dance.
Is that the one with their backs sort of half bent and they're kind of walking really peculiar? Of
course, the worry is that not only is it just for a laugh, show that it's possible that it can dance, or that it can do menial tasks for you, like do your washing and ironing and take the dog for a walk. But, you give it a machine gun.
Yeah.
And it's an absolutely implacable, ruthless killer that never gets tired. And it absolutely will not stop.
And has no morals.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, no moral framework.
I mean, that is the worry. I did a tweet just saying, I don't think it's cool. It's kind of terrifying if you gave it an M60 and orders to kill everything, and then you've got divisions or legions, battalions of them. Some people saying, calm down, that's not going to happen. We're a long way off of that. Well, probably not a long way. All you need is someone ruthless enough to do it. Someone like Bill Gates or George Soros or Bezos or whoever, some future billionaire.
Some Saudi prince gets hold of it.
Yeah. And other people saying, no, the human soldier will still be way easier, or you'll just make EMP weapons, something like that.
Just whip up an EMP.
As you do. So I just thought, and other people say that it's just sort of being paranoid to think that.
Well, people have debated the singularity for a long time. Like
singularity.
Is that what it's called?
Well, no, I mean possible. I mean,
is singularity? That's where AI takes over human sort of populations, essentially almost replace them.
Like Skynet, it becomes conscious and goes live.
And
let's be confused with the singularity at the centre of a black hole, I think.
Would this be based around the idea of it wanting to first and foremost preserve itself?
Yes.
Worried that the existence of humanity would mean that
it defies the laws. I forgot what they were called once again, but
I mean, I think we're probably what do I know really, but I can't see the future, but probably still a long way off from that. But still, just the idea that you've got killbots that are almost as agile as humans.
One of the main weapons of war now being used, especially in Ukraine, is drones.
I'll get onto drones in a sec.
Oh, sorry.
Let's just go straight to it now. So that's the thing. The first thing, one of the arguments against someone like me saying, "Oh, I'm suspicious of a robot like that because it could easily be turned into a weapon," is they say, well, it won't even be a humanoid thing anyway. It will be something else. It will be like a dog shape, or have wheels, or it won't even be that at all. It'll be drones.
I think that's in a Black Mirror episode with a dog shape as well.
Yeah, a few people said that. I've not seen that episode of Black Mirror, but you remember Boston Dynamics. Some people say, oh, this isn't even new. Why are you worried about this now? It's not even new. These have been around for years and years. Well, it's true. It's a fair point. Doesn't make it any less worrying to me. I just got a few videos here of various things.
That is bizarre, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
He runs like a drunkard.
This is actually a few years old, I think, this one.
Yeah.
But you can tell the speed of progress, and you get marry it up with AI, or future versions of AI, which are truly not really intelligent, but can make decisions in a split second.
Yeah,
and they're the best shot ever. and all that sort of thing. And they've got better vision than a man.
It's got mechanical precision behind it. Yeah,
right.
Moral of the story is really just be polite to ChatGPT just in case it.
Yeah. Right.
I refuse. I'll go down swinging, bro.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit. It's a possible
ChatGPT still.
No. Possible future is something more and more like the Terminator, the early Terminator films.
Oh my gosh.
I can do that easy.
And again,
basic flexibility.
Again, these things
are terrifying.
It is, right?
That's terrifying.
I find it difficult not to be a bit concerned.
Yeah.
That this should just very, very easily be made into some sort of
very uncomfortable.
Some sort of weapon.
I want to humiliate it, dress it up in a little monkey suit, and make it serve me martinis for the rest of its miserable existence.
Well,
and make it just self-aware.
God.
Make it just self-aware enough to be horrified by its existence.
Look, it just dances though.
No,
you just go do a cool dance though.
Over this one family's graves.
This is like 5 years old, so you can imagine how far it's gone, and you can imagine how the military are so much further advanced than what we get to see or what we can buy.
It's true.
It's
true.
Have you ever seen RoboCop 2?
Oh yeah, I've seen
the
that
second one.
Yeah.
In RoboCop 2, they show briefly. There's some bits in it where they show different versions of, like earlier versions of RoboCop, and their sort of uncanny valley.
See, that's the one that will actually be killing you. The little dog.
Yeah, the dog thing.
Because it can fit into tighter spaces, probably maneuver itself more quickly.
Because a humanoid isn't really an optimal kill machine, is it? Really, it's a bit sort of precarious.
Gangly.
Yeah, it's a bit precarious, isn't it? On two legs.
Well, I mean, just think about it. Like, what is the purpose of this other than look at them dancing? Isn't this so funny? Unless you're going to try and weaponize.
You can also do household chores, so there is that.
So
you'd look after your old people that you don't want to.
Fatter and lazier. Although, to be fair, I suppose the old people. I mean, if it stops us having to import the entire third world, I could maybe accept it.
In your old age, would you rather be looked after by one of these robots or someone that doesn't really want to from the third world? Probably take the robot. Probably
less likely to abuse you.
Yeah.
More likely to understand basic English and instructions.
You can just see like the dog one, its sort of robotic arm. Easily replace that with a gun. Well, not even a machine gun, like a laser, some future weapon that's even more terrifying than a regular 21st century machine gun.
Is this one actually not CGI? Because the dog in particular looks a little bit like computer generated to me.
Yeah. Well, we live in a world where it's not always easy to know, is it? It's not always easy to tell. Can I try and turn the volume off before I play it?
I don't think there's a way to do it, so...
Okay, I don't know what... Okay, thanks,
Samson. Thank you, Samson.
Yeah, so this one doesn't look particularly CGI, although it might be. But that's the world we live in now, where you're not even sure, are you?
Yeah,
that's
scary.
This one looks more real. The other one looked like its actual mechanical limbs looked a bit loose and wobbly. It made it look CGI.
Imagine, thousands of these that are on the battlefield. And maybe both sides are using them as well. So maybe it reduces human death and misery ultimately. Maybe a future war like the Ukrainian-Russian war, a limited war when they're not just nuking each other into oblivion on day one, might just be both sides are just using these types of machines. Who knows? I think probably. Another argument is that, well, humans are still way cheaper, though, for the Russians, for the Chinese. It's actually way cheaper, despite it takes 20 years to grow one and a family is ruined when they die. Chinese government or Russian government
that's never bothered their governments over there.
It's cheaper still to use humans.
It's really ours,
but at some point, it won't be cheaper to use humans, I would have thought.
These guys don't necessarily need feeding.
Right, yeah. That's another thing a lot of people say fairly glibly, I think, on Twitter. It's like, well, its batteries will run out. Okay, yeah, but until they do, it's one of the most terrifying things you can imagine.
I mean, I struggle to see in my mind, though, if all warfare did become an army of these on one side, an army of them on the other side at the same time. I struggle to see where, like, how do you advance strategically? How do you know when you've won a battle? Just when you run out of these? At which point when do the humans have to come back into it? Will it just be that these will act as the forces going into cities and murdering people? At which case it'll just be a case of which side can commit the most civilian atrocities before the other gives up.
Yeah. I mean, that's total war. That is always the way. Maybe it's just the first waves on both sides of robots.
I just miss
and then until one side runs out of robots, and then it's humans versus robots. Yeah.
I just miss when I read about the 19th century, when eventually it would get to a point where strategic targets are met, and then they all meet up and they sign a peace treaty with one another. We stopped doing that early in the 20th century.
Well, I mean, I was watching something, as I quite often do, about Napoleon. And in the early 19th, or very, very late 18th century, early 19th century, that was the thing they complained about Napoleon, is that quite often, in Europe anyway, armies would manoeuvre until it was clear one side had got the upper hand tactically, strategically, and then the other side would give in before there was any sort of big battle. And Napoleon didn't do that, and they thought it was like very unfair, it was very unsporting that he would keep attacking even when the odds weren't with him and stuff. So, yeah, who knows, maybe war will come down to, all your robots killed all our robots, so let's stop the war there, because all your robots will certainly kill all our humans. So we give in. Who knows?
Maybe it will save lives.
Maybe it might save lives. We'll see. But then, so I think it will probably be much more these sort of dog things rather than the humanoid ones. And you see it already, like police, paramilitary and police. Once again, you can only imagine that the cutting edge of the best militaries in the world, the US military or the Chinese, will have something even more advanced than this. And once again, you can just so easily imagine that the thing on top of it is a gun, or a rocket launcher, a grenade launcher, or whatever it is, lasers.
Well, I remember during obviously the height of all like the lockdowns and everything in China, when people were stuck in these big flats, the Chinese government would send up these drones with speakers on it to basically churn out a message saying stay in your homes, don't play loud music, things like that, just keep doing what you're doing. Send
a drone up to your balcony on the 17th floor and look in and say stop doing what you're doing.
Stop doing what you're doing. Insane. I think we had a chat, at least at one point, about how dystopian novels actually have been a bit of a bad thing because it's kind of like influenced.
It gives them ideas.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think I was having a conversation with Connor where we were talking about Brave New World, and he spoke to me about how Brave New World was actually supposed to be Huxley going like, wouldn't this be such a wonderful thing?
Right.
If we all get rid of unhappiness and everybody can just take a drug that makes them happy all the time. Isn't John the Savage such an idiot for refusing such a thing?
Yeah.
Sometimes you wonder if some of these guys understand the story that they write.
Oh, yeah.
I reread Brave New World a few months ago. It's very anti-family. Like the idea of having a mum and a dad is disgusting and weird. It's very, very dystopian.
That always says far more about the author, if that's what they believe, than society itself, if you ask me.
People say, we're building them just for our convenience. They'll just do household chores and things. It's like, well, okay, maybe, but it'll be both. Surely it'll be both.
Why limit it?
Yeah. There has always been, history's always shown that there will be, when there's ruthless people, and there always will be, and there's a new weapons platform, a new type of game-changing weapon, it will almost certainly be used. I mean, the great example where that isn't the case is nukes. Or even nerve agents, like the Americans and the British made insanely powerful poisonous nerve agents, things like VX poison, Porton Down stuff, and they actually decided, a bit like nukes, they decided, actually, let's not keep developing this because it's insanely powerful. Like the Russians made the biggest ever Tsar bomber, I think it was, and they never made anything bigger than that. But they could make tritium bombs. They could make even a doomsday device that could destroy the whole world in one go. They decided, let's not do that.
They had the concept and plans done for the Bomber 2, didn't they? And they never actually went ahead and produced one.
Well, originally Khrushchev wanted it to be 100 megaton yield. And they could build it. They could definitely design and build it, but they decided to scale it down a bit, and they made a 50 megaton version. And actually, when they blew it up, it was a bit more than that. It was 52, 56 megatons or something. But even that's like twice as big as the biggest American one. I think Castle Bravo is 25, 26 megatons, something like that. So anyway, they don't make. There's no Tsar bombers anymore. They don't make them anymore. But still, the point is, you can have one intercontinental ballistic missile with like 48 warheads on it, and each one's 20 megatons. Or kilotons or whatever, and then they could make things even bigger. Like I think there were designs at some point to make a doomsday device, literally one machine, one bomb essentially, that you create in your own country, in the middle of Russia under a mountain, or in the middle of America under a mountain, and you say, look, if you ever attack us, we'll destroy the whole world. How about that now? How about that? And they decided, let's not do that. That's not actually in anyone's interest.
They have limits at some point, these psychopaths.
So, and then you get into... I thought I had another link there with the Chinese. The Chinese...
Was it that last Twitter link on there? Is that the one?
Yes. So another argument is, we have to make these things. Boston Dynamics and the US Army or whoever have to make these things, because if we don't, the Chinese or the Russians will... make one. I mean, this is the China. Do you ever see Return to Oz? The old 80s film Return to Oz?
No.
Anyway, there's some monsters in that called Wheelers. Anyone that's seen the film will know exactly what I mean immediately. And it's just, it's nightmare fuel, isn't it? It's nightmare fuel.
It actually is uncomfortable to watch. Like, all these videos that you played are actually really uncomfortable to watch. It's bizarre. It's like, I don't know, it's just so unnatural and so forced. It just doesn't, I don't know, in my brain, it's just, there's almost a bit of fear.
Yeah.
And I think that's, it's like being scared of spiders and how they look and how they act and move. Like, it's exactly the same.
And it can be controlled by a human as well, right? Remotely, if you want to do that. And look, it's just better at you.
That's
at
terrifying.
Being a soldier. Yeah, it's terrifying, yeah.
All those hours that people have put into Call of Duty would finally be paying off.
At being a soldier on the battlefield, it's better than you. Nearly already. And you can imagine in 10, 20, 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years from now, you can imagine how obsolete a human soldier would be. You see a guy riding on the back of it in a minute, it's almost certainly not CGI, you know. These are still just sort of like the earliest prototype stuff.
I like these in video games, right? It's fun. Like, there's a new Terminator game coming out where you basically, it's a bit like, I don't know, Escape from Tarkov. Have you ever played anything like that? But you go out, it's like, you know, trying to get loot, and you have stuff like this, and obviously the Terminator coming after you, like plonked on the map randomly, and you have to grab loot and get out. Yeah, I like that in video games, not in real life.
Yeah.
Very much.
I'm just thinking of the, like, if you really wanted to put people off this sort of stuff in real life, if you end up having to face against them on the battlefield, you'd go full MGS with them, like in MGS 4, where you get the weird Metal Gear, like mini Metal Gear Ray things that moo.
Yeah.
That moo when they're attacking you, and just make all sorts of shrieking, off-putting noises. That would make them even worse.
Yeah.
Or imagine one that's 300 foot tall.
That is basically a Metal Gear weapon at this point. Kojima gave them all these ideas as well. You talk about people misinterpreting dystopias.
There's an old 80s film, Robot Jocks, where there's just giant mech one-on-one battles, but you can just imagine.
The Armored Core.
When do we build the Power Ranger Megazords?
Some people say, well, it might not even be something like that Chinese robot dog thing. It will just be drone warfare. That's the future. I mean, we've probably all seen clips of the Ukrainian battlefield where both sides are blowing each other up with sort of suicide drones.
The
drone's got a little bit of explosive in it, a little bit of C4 or something, and it just flies into you or into your tank or your armoured car and blows up, and that's the end of the story. We've probably all seen those. I mean, I feel like that probably, or a combination of both these things. You might have things actually on the ground that look like a humanoid Tesla robot, a Reichbot, or the dog version, but they control a swarm of drones, like super fast drones, really, really small drones.
I mean, that thing on screen, if that's an actual picture. That thing's pretty tiny.
Yeah. And look how fast it can go.
That's ridiculous.
It's faster than you can react almost. And this is just a toy that anyone can buy. This is you can once again. Apparently it weighs like 16 grams. It's sort of a tiny thing, but even that you could get a really really good bit of explosive that's the size of a thumbnail, and the thing itself is only a few inches across. Faster than you can react, almost faster than you can see, and
I've seen
you get tens of thousands of them.
Yeah.
Attacking a city or something.
I've seen all the videos with the little micro drones where they try and do like stunts and go in abandoned buildings and dip out at ridiculous speeds, and it's just
like you can fly upstairs through building anything you want, really.
It's actually insane.
I feel like the future of warfare might just be drone and anti-drone drone.
warfare, machine versus machine.
Yeah, you've got anti-drone drones.
Yeah.
So it's just you might have seen. I saw fairly recently some footage from Ukraine. I'm not sure if it was Ukrainian or Russian tanks. Probably both do it. They've got this like elaborate set of like netting all around the tank. So these suicide drones will hit that before they hit the actual tank itself. All sorts of anti-drone measures. That's the world we're moving into now. Like you've got sort of race or speed drones. Look how fast this goes.
Yeah, it's just...
Again, it's like something people said, even if you've got a shotgun with, a blast on it, a buckshot or birdshot, you probably still be very difficult to hit one when it's incoming.
Explains a lot about UFOs, potentially.
And once again, if this is just a toy...
Yeah,
what the actual military have got already would be worrying.
It's true. There's a racing drone.
Again, you could make them pretty tiny, or you could make them like
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just why are we giving this to people like to use? Like that's just I don't know.
Or you could make them. Potentially, if the military get involved, put loads of research and development into it, loads of money, you can make them the size of an actual insect, maybe. Yeah. Make them look like a fly.
It's already been done,
or
I think.
Something. All right.
It's already been done, I think.
So perhaps the battlefield, not just of men, but of even humanoid robots, is already obsolete. That's already old hat. It will just be drone v drone stuff. Yeah. And we've probably already seen, lots of people seen clips like this, where you can, one person, one computer or whatever, is able to make, what they call them, battalions, armies of drones, do what they want.
And that stuff is pretty cool.
It does look cool.
It looks cool.
It's a bit terrifying, like...
Until you imagine the orders are...
Yeah, right.
Destroy your town.
Yeah.
And everyone that lives where you live. And they're all a suicide drone.
Terrifying.
I just wonder. And so when someone like Elon or lots of people put this sort of stuff up, and just say, "Look how cool it is! Look how good it is!" And don't worry, because we haven't nuked ourselves yet, so we can stop ourselves from that. And don't worry, because it's only there to do chores for you in the end. Don't worry, because it's just a toy. It's just fun.
Yeah, I'm just nervous.
I just fear that at some point the future of warfare will be the last thing you notice is you hear the whir of a drone. You hear the and that's it. You don't see it even. You might not even hear it, barely, and that's it. You've been suicide droned.
Scary.
So yeah, a bit scary. Okay, anyway.
If you would like to watch the full uncut version that is also uncensored, head on over to lotuseaters.com to find out more.